Hello, this is Tom Clements for King Air Academy. Our topic today is light bulbs in the cockpit and how to change them, which is of course something a pilot can do. And so often I get in King Airs and discover that quite a few bulbs are missing, and most of the lights have redundant bulbs, at least two, so if one's out we still have partial illumination, but good to get those replaced before the other one goes out. So I'm going to kind of start top to bottom here and show you various ways to change these things. It does change a bit depending on your model year. This is an old 1968 B90 of King Air Academy, LJ369, and what I'm showing here will apply to the great majority of 90s, A, B, C, E90s, etc. Let's start with the annunciator panel. As you all know, there's a test button here to check for bulb illumination, and as we look at this closely, I think all the important ones, the ones that have labels, are evenly lit left and right sides. But here I can see the right side of that green one's a little dim, left side of the red one here, a couple right sides there, so probably indicate bad bulbs or bad contact. Well, for this older style of annunciator panel, to gain access to the bulbs, we have to pivot the container by pushing firmly on the left side, pop it out, and it comes around, gives you access to the bulbs and back. And depending on the the stiffness and size of your fingernails, you probably will be able to successfully getting those things removed. There it is. And in the old days, we called this a GE 327 bulb. Whether it's still GE, I'm not even sure. But the 327 bulbs, they're used for everything I'm going to be showing you today is this style of bulb. So you simply take the bad one out, stick a new one in, and pivot the unit back around. And then, of course, I didn't really change that one, but they can make a check to see if you were successful or not. Now, the master fault warning flasher, it has two of those bulbs behind it, but it removes in a different manner. For that, you take your fingernails and insert in slots in the side and just pull that straight forward, and there are the two bulbs in the back of that one. So that can be easily changed by the pilot. Be gentle as you put things in and out. Don't be bending contacts. Previously, we showed how to pivot the older style annunciator lenses to gain access to the bulbs. The newer style here, they do not pivot, but instead the whole bulb container comes forward by pushing in to release a catch. So now I can take my fingers and pull that straight forward. Here are the two 327 bulbs in the back. And a few of these will actually have a little wire. It only lets it come out maybe this far and it dangles down. You get them out and the wire is still connected. But most of them I found come totally loose like this. And then again, it's a matter of finding the slot and gently going in, make sure there's no binding until it clicks, and you're back in business there for that new style. The post lights on the engine instruments and many of the flight instruments, the older King Airs had their own post lights. Same bulb, and to gain access to that, you simply pull forward. The post light itself with the bulb inside comes out, pull the old one out, put a new one in, and feed it back in with a little firm pressure until it seats. The landing gear indicator lights. As most of you know, this older style one is designed to have the iris lens to dim down. So if you look real close, you can see there's a little sliver of light around the edges, and at night we can see that pretty easily. But for daytime, certainly now we're not sure if the gear's down or not. So we want to make sure the outside rim has been turned counterclockwise to leave those in a bright position. And to change the bulb, you simply keep on turning that, unscrew the whole container, and that gives access to the bulb in the back. Another 327 bulb. And see if I can get this one back in without messing up too badly. There we are, back in business again. That comes to the landing gear handle. The test for that, as you know, is the button here to check for illumination. We have both the top and bottom bulb behind a red lens there. It's a white bulb, but the red lens makes it glow red. And we simply, again, turn the top. There's the red container with the white bulb there. Just slide out, put the new one in as need be, and screw that back in. I've discovered through the years, by the way, that notoriously the bottom bulb is missing. What's happened there, it's gotten loose through the years, no one's bothered to check it, and finally it fell down to the carpet and disappeared. So do, as you check that light integrity, what I always do is just come down and gently twist that bottom container clockwise to make sure it's in there firmly. The pressurization controller has exactly the same type containers for the light, except they're not red, they're just a black cover. But on the upper corners here, we have two bulbs that give background illumination for our pressure gauge controller. And that's one of the odd things, that many of the items will just be illuminated by overhead lights in the cockpit, but the controller itself, to get even lighting, does have two bulbs. And it's amazing how many times I've seen either no illumination or kind of half illumination, and people just didn't know the bulbs were there. And by the way, it's very common in King Airs to find a plastic cover over the face of that controller, like that. And the Beech never installed those at the factory level, but in the older days, there was a controller made by Air Research that actually had a glass window, and if by chance a seatbelt buckle got dropped onto that and cracked the glass, you ruined the controller. So having an aftermarket add-on of these plastic overlays was very popular. The newer controllers, of which this one has been changed to the newer type, are made out of a Lexan plastic, almost unbreakable, and does not have the glass face. So the need for that cover is not as great as it used to be, but it does keep you from scratching unnecessarily as you maneuver the seat belts or your feet getting in and out of the cockpit. I hope that proves helpful for you. This has been Tom Clements for King Air Academy.